Good day everyone, Dr. Blob here. As of last week, Arknights anime Prelude to Dawn reached its third episode, and even managed to be trending. Do you know how big of a deal that is for a gacha anime? Without fading the title. So while I do my flash reviews of each episode, I think the moment is right to make a deeper analysis of the series. However, it is way too soon to put the anime under the lens. The characters will be analyzed in due time in my sanity treatment videos, so that one is also a no. So what can I do then? Well, how about the song? While not as deep as more renowned adaptations out there, Prelude to Dawn's Alive by Rihanna give us not only hints of what is to come, but also slight insights on the characters we will be focusing during this season. Before continuing, yes, this is heavily inspired by Mother Basement's What's in an OP series. Let's face it, as good as the story and gameplay are, I don't think Geoff2 will put this one in his priority list, especially seeing how packed this season turned out to be. So, without further explanation needed, but an apology to Geoff if he does happen to care for this anime, let's get started. We open with the very first location seen in-game, the sarcophagus, and despite lasting less than a second, there is this air of mystery and ominousness given to it, given how it's illuminated and the angle being used by the camera, pointing at both the starting point of the Doctor's journey and its somewhat alien nature to the world of Terra. Next we got the closest we have ever got to a face reveal of the main character, tired and almost empty eyes looking at nothing as the Doctor musters the strength to look forward. Fast cuts showing two of the most important characters working in the story's background, PRTS and Calcit. PRTS is right in front of the camera, demonstrating its constant closeness to the Doctor as their combat interface, yet a slightly out of focus shot, plus the weird camera angle, hints at it being more to this AI than what we currently know. Calcit on the other hand is shown in the distance beside a battered road's wall, showing how desperate the situation is for the pharmaceutical company. Yet even then she only gives us her back and a very poignant glare, indicating how distrustful she is towards the Doctor. Understandable when you know how things went last time they saw each other. Next, we see the sun in the distance, while a wobbly Amiya walks into frame from behind the camera and towards the light, showing how despite her role as leader of roads, she is still insecure in the path she must take. Yet in spite of this, she keeps moving forward. Her hands being held close to her chest while her head is hung a bit low, as if she were carrying something important we can see. However, this connects directly with the anime's ending, where we can see that what she is holding is a shard of an Originium crystal, representing the infected lost to conflicts all over Terra or to infection itself. Denoting how her magic on the opening is her keeping on the hopes and dreams of those no longer here, showing how despite her fragile looking nature, Amiya is a very caring and determined individual, driven by those around her. After this, we got a short montage showing some of the characters to be introduced in this season. While nothing of note happens here, this is where the lyrics of the song start with the line, "I've walked the path of lies and misery," already hinting at us the situation the cast will be finding themselves in. A peace harboring a PMC in the middle of a war-torn battlefield where there is little room for amnesties and conflict is but inevitable. Their natural expressions while walking in the battered location signifying how these characters are used to conflict and have seen defeat again and again, expecting to see more of it in this battlefield as well, ending this montage with a shot of a tired looking Shen, sword in hand, while our bunch of reunions mask lie behind her, alluding to her conflicting emotions regarding her having to fight the infected. Yet as soon as a new foe enters the frame, she immediately dispatches him without a thought, showing how despite this, she is still resolute in her role as the defender of Longmen. Next, a shell is being loaded into a grenade launcher, followed up by Misha walking in a dark alley. While the hint about the connection between Skull Shatterer and Misha is obvious, there is also some symbolism hidden in these shots. Misha appears to be walking towards the light, not too dissimilar to Amiya at the beginning of the opening, yet she is stopped last second by someone behind her who happens to shock her, the shell representing how Misha has been loaded into the role she will play by the end of this season. With the line, "I feel my heart aching inside," we cut to what's most likely Ace's last moments, yet sharing a victorious smile, knowing that he's dead but a path for his comrades to move forward, shown by the characters previously introduced, now facing the camera and sharing the same smile, implying that besides their defeats, they will not stop fighting for what they believe on. Ending with a smiling Misha, yet unlike the previous smiles, hers has a sense of bittersweetness, as she's saying goodbye not only to those behind her, but also to light itself, as we see a fully geared Skull Shatterer charging toward a shocked Amiya, who quickly changes into a resolute glare, ready to face her opponent. Cutting to the last montage of the opening, starting with relatively random scenes of combat, hinting at the individual abilities of each member of the cast. Franka speeding up, rapier in hand, Crown Slayer readying her knife, Hoshiguma charging to defend with her shield, Mephisto being a twat, Exia quickly changing target without a care, in contrast to Faust coldly looking for his next mark. Not too dissimilar to Texas' calm demeanor brandishes her blade, followed up by Lisgram unloading her gun into some casters, before swiftly bracing for the incoming blast. Chaos unfolding in the streets as a group of Sarkaz mercenaries blink into frame, hinting that someone might be behind the conflict, as Margaret Nair and Instructor Doberman brandish their weapons ready to face them, suddenly replaced with hints of future developments in the story, starting with a waving Reunion member being mirrored by the Litter Guild saved in episode 1, hinting at how despite their actions, the members of Reunion had a certain innocence to them, especially telling when you know how the conflict ends, followed up by a short clip of Ace brandishing his weapon, while an injured guard watches from the ground. Extra point for portraying so much defeat in a fully covered face. Next we have a group of kids in an alley, one of them holding a rag bear, hinting at these being the kids Misha looked after before being found by Rhodes, which then is followed up by Shen's back, sword in hand as if to strike yet another enemy. But the way she's situated in the scene makes it look like she's shielding these kids from some unseen foe, while a really quick shot of Wei Jingwu flashes by, making him look like he is looking at Shen with apparent disapproval. In just 3 scenes, less than a second long, the opening managed to convey the tense relationship between these two characters in a way I wish the early game story would in almost 5 chapters. This family dynamic is then cut by a smug cockroach, but then shit gets serious at her face when Tallulah, big bad of the first story arc, blazes into a scene, everything around her being nothing but fire and destruction. Destruction which is then embodied by Skull Shatterer, gun and blade at the ready as Amiya charges up an Arts Blast. Yet, she suddenly wakes up from her memory, back at Rod Silent's deck, hinting at the resolution of said conflict. In the distance, a large Originium crystal towers over Amiya, the Doctor, and even Rhodes itself, showing how even when not the focus of the scene, Oriopathy is a threat constantly looming in the horizon. An exhausted Amiya, showing remorse over the fight's resolution, looks at the Doctor whose eyes are no longer tired or absent, but focused and awake. The sight is enough to fill her with determination once more, as with the line, "I feel alive with this pain," she delivers a genuine smile at the camera as the opening comes to a close. I'm impressed by the amount of details and information contained in these 90 seconds, showing not only things to come, but also a certain degree of understanding towards the source material and its characters. For example, just as Tallulah is consumed by the fire, the last thing to disappear are her eyes, hinting at how despite everything she has done, some part of Tallulah still resides behind all the destruction. You don't hint such a big deal of a thing if you don't know about her story. What I meant to say is that, while a bit simplistic in some areas, Prelude to Dawn's Alive is a perfect way to start off Arknights anime, constantly reminding us how unfeeling the world of Terra seems to be to our protagonists, and yet in spite of it, they keep marching forward, because even in defeat, even when suffering, it is because of their pain that they know they are alive, and as long as someone is alive, something can be done. Nothing else to add. While with a couple of observations here and there, I had enjoyed the anime so far, and cannot deny that, while a bit slow, the story shown is entertaining on its own right, and really look forward to do a full analysis of the anime once it's properly over. But for now, this will have to do. But what do you think? Do you think the anime could have a better opening? Or what other things did you notice while watching it? Be sure to leave a commentary down below, and see what did I miss. For now, I am Dr. Blob. Thank you all for your time. I'm humbly asking for a like, share and subscribe, so I can properly leave this basement. So until next time, stay healthy everyone.